Good afternoon. Welcome, everyone, to our Minneapolis Giving Voice Chorus Spring Concert. This land is our land. I'm Karen Parks, and this is my husband, Jerry. We're so excited to be with you today to sing some of our favorite folk songs. Giving Voice Chorus is an opportunity for people like us, caregivers and those with Alzheimer's and other dementias, to share the joy of singing together. Now, some of us are trained musicians.
And some of us just sing in the shower.
But we've all become friends and support each other on the Alzheimer's journey. To begin today's concert, we have a Pete Seeger classic, If I Had a Hammer, and Jerry came prepared.
I grew up with a hammer in my hand, literally. My father was in construction, and I worked with him as a young child.
So Jerry, you better put down that hammer and get over to the men's section so we can welcome on stage our wonderful music director and true friend, Jeannie Brindley Barnett.
excited, I go like this. Everybody go like this. It's hard not to sing along, right? So you're allowed. I mean, we're inviting you to sing with us on Blowin' in the Wind and our This Land Is Your Land. But, you know, if you get carried away, that's all right. Thank you all for being here to see and hear the musical accomplishments of your friends and loved ones who are Giving Voice Chorus. Giving Voice Chorus is a celebration of community who recognizes the artistic value and creative potential of those with Alzheimer's and their caregivers. Each of the singers has a treasure trove of a chest that is filled with their precious and powerful music memories. We are grateful that they share some of their musical jewels with us throughout the year. After compiling a list of about 24 folk songs, each singer voted on 12 that we could do today, so you're hearing the dirty top dozen of them. So Ray, talk to us about our next song.
Happy to do that. Well, this one is a traditional folk song and a cowboy tune. Depending on where you heard it first, it's been called Cowboy Love Song, Bright Sherman Valley, in the Bright Mohawk Valley. Now, I grew up along the Red River of the North in Canada. Our house was 2.5 miles from the river. And in 1950, we had to evacuate when the Red River crossed its banks and filled the whole valley. That's something that we Canucks share with our Minnesota friends to the south. And we also share the song's regional title, Red River Valley.
everyone. I'm Jean Thompson, and this is my mom, Evelyn, who I think may be the oldest member of Giving Voice Chorus. Mom, do you mind if I tell them how old you are?
Oh, go right ahead.
Mom is 98 and a half years. We voted our next song as our favorite, Good Night, Irene. I'm sure you're familiar with the chorus of this song, but I bet you didn't know that one of the verses, well, it gets a little
Body.
And the song reminds me, I feel so lucky to say goodnight to you, Mom, every night.
Olson, and this is my mom, Betty. That last song, This Train is Bound for Glory, is based on a traditional tune with words by Paul Stuckey and Peter Yarrow. You might remember that Stuckey and Yarrow partnered with another singer, Mary Travers, to form the legendary folk trio, Peter, Paul, and Mary. They recorded our next number, Leaving on a Jet Plane.
But they didn't write the song. John Denver was the songwriter. We had his album and listened to him sing it a lot when you were growing up.
Because my dad would sometimes leave us to travel to India in the summers. My mom and Grandma and I missed him, but then we'd snuggle together in Grandma's feather bed.
Oh, that old bed. It could hold 8 kids and 4 hound dogs.
But it really brought us comfort when Dad was leaving on a jet plane.
everybody. I'm Peter Pearson, and my singing partner is my grandmother, Jerry. I'm among the junior members of the Giving Voice Chorus. How many of us are in their 20s or 30s? Raise your hand. All right. Everyone. All of us. That's really incredible. When Jeannie suggested the next song, the MTA, everybody, no matter our age, was enthusiastic. Now, is there anyone out there who knows what MTA stands for? Aha, the Metropolitan Transit Authority, yes, otherwise known as the Boston Subway. Now, several of the chorus members had experience riding the MTA. Who's been on the MTA? All right, same as the 30-year-olds. But I got to intro the song because I have the most current electronic version of the MTA card. It is called the Charlie card, and you are about to learn what happened to that fellow, Charlie, and how a 1949 political campaign song became a folk music standard.
These are the times that try men's souls. In the course of our nation's history, the people of Boston have rallied bravely whenever the rights of all have been threatened. Today, a new crisis has arisen. The Metropolitan Transit Authority, better known as the MTA, is attempting to levy a burdensome tax on the population in the form of a subway fare increase. Citizens, hear me out. This could happen to you.
Let me tell you of a story of a man named Charlie on a big old day. He contested in his marketplace his wife and man to the MTA. Will he ever return? No, he ever return. And the state is still on the road. Station
Bruce Erickson, one of the founding singers of the Giving Voice. These are my friends, Stephanie and Mary Moon, who joined the group last fall.
Giving Voice Chorus gives us a chance to find out what we have in common. For example, several of us have ties to California, and that makes the next song so special. California Dreamin' reminds the two of us of where we grew up, La Mirada and Whittier in Southern California.
You bet. I lived there 40 years in San Diego. The ocean, the Golden Hills, and watching the whales migrate. And occasionally I headed to San Francisco to a club called The Hungry Eye and the Purple Onion, well famous in those days, to hear the original artists perform the songs that we are singing today.
Wish we could do it all again, but we still love our California Dreamin'.
Amazing to hear that the Nobel Prize for Literature this year had been awarded to our own Bobby Zimmerman from Hibbing, Minnesota. In his mind, Bobby Dylan did not write this next song as a protest song. However, with its timeless and poignant lyrics, it became the quintessential protest song of the 1960s. While I was attending school in Boston in 1963, I had the unique opportunity to see him sing along with other young artists like Joan Baez and Pete Seeger, excuse me, with hundreds of us on a grassy hill at the Newport Folk Festival. I was really into folk music at that time, often leading groups, singing with my banjo ukulele. Anyway, we hope you enjoy our rendition, and a genie's cue, please join us in for the chorus.
Jane West. I'm a volunteer with the Giving Voice Chorus. I love to sing, and I think that being part of this wonderful group has been a great joy. I love folk music, and this particular Giving Voice program is especially meaningful. As a child, I spent literally hours listening to the Weavers and Pete Seeger and so many others, and I learned to play the 5-string banjo using Pete's record and book. Our next song has been recorded many times, initially by the Weavers in 1951. I was very lucky that my wonderful and long-suffering parents were willing to take me to hear Peter, Paul, and Mary at the Padded Cell, a nightclub in Minneapolis at the time. Since they also recorded it a few years later, their playlist could easily have included Kisses Sweeter Than Wine.
I'm Laura and sing with my mom, Marjorie. After Kisses, we'll sing another Peter, Paul, and Mary hit, Puff the Magic Dragon. Listen closely, because you'll hear 2 verses to Puff you've never heard before. They come from a friend of a family friend of ours. He's a teacher from Maine, and he used ideas from his 2nd graders to craft the new verses.
Happy and the rose, Mr.
For many snowy winters, Puff lay in his cave. He lived a very quiet life. He missed the ocean waves, but one day he felt footsteps and heard a young voice shout, "Now where's that fearless dragon that my daddy sang about?" Puff roared out a greeting. Puff blew flames of joy. But to his great amazement, the child was not a boy. Little Jenny Paper yelled, "Puff, come on, let's run!" And so the story doesn't end. It just goes on and on.
Don't you? And we can write our own, can't we? Yes. So we have lots going on now. For the first time, Giving Voice Chorus has a sextet. A sexy group. No. But a group of 6, and they're going to go off stage left into the wings while the barbecue, I called them the other day, quartet. You could tell I was hungry. But our barbershop quartet, we are so lucky in so many ways.
We are the Giving Voice Barbershop Quartet. In keeping with the theme of this program today, we looked and couldn't find any arrangement from the Barbershop Harmony Society in the folk song tradition that we're singing.
But we did find a good song from a very ancient spiritual tradition, the old African-American spiritual song, "Oh, Shine on Me."
You will notice that when I blow the notes, I'm blowing the note for the tonic of the key that the song is written in. However, we don't start on that note. So from the note that I blow, each person has to find their own note, which isn't always easy.
Shine on me in the morning, shine on me. Will the light in the lighthouse shine on me? Shine on me in the evening. Shine on me. I wonder if the lighthouse will shine on me.
And this is my husband, Al. A lot of us found the next song, Turn, 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 difficult. Not musically, but because of its lyrics. I guess God's reasons are inscrutable.
Pete Seeger used the words from the Bible book of Ecclesiastes to create an anthem for the anti-war movement. The words were all about how there is a time for everything in the world. For many of the chorus members, it reminded us how quickly life can change, from good to not so good.
Well, the song mentions a time for war and a time for peace, and a time for love and a time for hate. Many of us got a bit more comfortable knowing that Seeger included a plea at the end that it's not too late to seek peace and the end of injustice.
want to give another applause for our sextet. Bruce, Rich, Lynn, Jane, Julie, and Donna Lou. We are so lucky and count our blessings every day for each person in Giving Voice Chorus. We have professionals across all walks of life, and you've been hearing one on guitar already, and now we're featuring Mr. Bob Douglas, and he will tell you about what he's singing.
How many of you lived through the 30s? Anybody lived through the 30s? How about here? Anybody here? How about the 40s? Around the 30s, the 30s are sometimes called the dirty 30s, and the reason why is because that was during the time of the Dust Bowl. And this swept across central USA and Midwest, not as much in the north, but certainly in the panhandles of Oklahoma and Texas. And one person that very much influenced was Woody Guthrie. In 1940, Woody went into a studio and recorded 12 songs about the Dust Bowl, and this is one of them. And some are upbeat, some are sad. And this has got one that I think you've all heard, I hope so, by now. And you're invited to sing along in the chorus if you like. And if you don't like, I guess we'll have to endure.
I've sung this song and I'll sing it again. Place called home on the wild windy plains. The month called April, the county called gray. Here's what all of the people there say. So long, it's been good to know you. So long, it's been good to know you. So long, it's been good to know you. That dusty old dust is a-getting my home, and I've got to be moving along. A storm hit like thunder. It dusted us over and it dusted us under. It blocked all the traffic and blocked all the sun. Straight for home all the people did run, saying, so long, it's been good to know you. So long, it's been good to know you. So long, it's been good to know you. This dusty old dust is a-getting my home, and I've got to be drifting along. We talked of the end of the world, and then we sang the song and we sung it again. We sat for an hour and not say a word, and then these words were heard. So long, it's been good to know you. So long, it's been good to know you. So long, it's been good to know you. This dusty old dust is a-getting my home, and I've got to be drifting along. Well, sweethearts sat in the dark and they sparked. They hugged and they kissed in that dusty old dark. They sighed and they cried and they hugged and they kissed, but instead of marriage they talked like this. So long, it's been good to know you. So long, it's been good to know you. So long, it's been good to know you. This dusty old dust is a-getting my home, and I got to be drifting along. Now the telephone rang and it jumped off the wall. That was the preacher a-making his call. He said, kind friend, this might be the end, and this may be your last chance of salvation from sin. So the churches was jammed and the churches was packed. That dusty old dust, it blew so black. We preacher could not read a word of his text, so he folded his specs and he took up a collection and said, so long, it's been good to know you. So long, it's been good to know you. So long, it's been good to know you. This dusty old dust is again home, and I got to be drifting along. Do it one more time. So long, it's been good to know you. So long, it's been good to know you. So long, it's been good to know you. That dusty old dust is again my home, and I've got to be drifting along.
That was musician Bob Douglas, who was also a Giving Voice Chorus member. I'm Janet, and this is my partner Bev. For us, the chorus has become an invaluable part of each week.
From the very start, Giving Voice has been welcoming and provides a sense of real community and gratitude.
You could say the same thing about our last song this afternoon. We grew up singing "This Land Is Your Land" by Woody Guthrie, yet we still appreciate its celebration of this country's natural beauty in all its diverse landscapes. And more than that, the song has an enduring message of unity. We hope you'll join us on the choruses.
Matt Taggart. Our wonderful band. We have Bob Douglas, we have Kathy, we have Anna, we have Peter, we have Steve back there, we have Charlie, and a lot. Do I have anybody else that I've forgotten? And oh no, I said Kathy, yes. And Charlie, and Bruce, and all of our wonderful band. And we have prepared an encore, and I just realized, oh, thank you, we just couldn't. Encore, oh, I heard that. Well, maybe. Supposed to invite you. There are so many thanks in the program. We were concerned our program is going to be too long. We don't like intermissions, but we are. I said it'd be an hour and 20, and actually we started late, so we're kind of at that. But we do have cookies and lemonade. We want you to follow the balloons. But before, I want to recognize, and this is totally, nobody knows this, and maybe somebody's going to think it's wrong, but frankly, I have to do it. My husband is one of the most talented musicians, bar none, and so much of the music that you've heard, especially arranged tonight, has been done by Steve Barnett, so I want to thank him. So, I didn't include that thing, but, no, so, without Mary and Marge having their child together and gracing and blessing us and the support of Frank, Mary's husband, McPhail, so many other people, this could not be what it is. So it is a family thing for sure, and we all feel so grateful.
I'm wondering if everybody out there can feel the love that is in this room, and our motto is, there is no wrong in this room, and all that love comes from the top.